Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Look, it's 2024 and Milky Way core season is approaching quite fast. Us here in the Southern Hemisphere, we're starting to get our first glimpse of the Milky Way core in those early hours of the morning, right before sunrise. I know that the Northern Hemisphere have got a little bit longer to go, but look, it's time to start thinking about how we're going to approach the year in our astrophotography. And if you're like me, when I first started, I wasn't tracking, but I soon realized that if I was going to up my game and get better images, I was going to have to start tracking. So I bit the bullet and bought my first star tracker. Now, I want to talk to you today about the three options that are on the market from Skywatcher. I think this is pretty much the standard across the board for nightscape photographers. My first tracker was a Star Adventurer, the original one, but I'm going to take you through all the current models that Skywatcher have on offer. That being the Star Adventurer Mini, the 2i, and the Star Adventurer GTI. Now, just a quick disclaimer, these days I do work for Skywatcher Australia, so I just want to say that my opinion on these trackers are my own. I'm not influenced by Skywatcher Australia to say anything in particular. I don't have to gloss over them and say everything great about them. I will be pointing out things that aren't so great, but also I'll tell you how you can, I guess, get around those not so great things. But I'm obviously going to be pointing out the positives of these trackers, because honestly, once you track, you won't look back. It's the most amazing thing when you first get a tracker. You learn how to polar align, you take those first few images, and to be able to see the extra detail and color out of your images, it's phenomenal. So yeah, start tracking. Once you're into it, you won't stop it, because I exclusively now, every shot I take is with a star tracker. It's phenomenal. So with that little disclaimer out of the way, let's get into it. I want to take you through all the different options and what I feel would be best for you, and if you want to make a choice this year on buying a star tracker. Okay, so the first tracker that I'm going to be talking about just so happens to be my personal favorite, and that is the Star Adventurer Mini. Now, when I looked at buying a smaller tracker, like as I mentioned in the intro, I did buy a Star Adventurer originally, which I still think is a fantastic option for first-time buyers. But I got to a point where I found that I'm still predominantly shooting just wide-angle lens nightscapes, and I wanted something that was going to be a bit smaller and compact that I can easily fit in my bag and bring with me no matter where I go, whether that just be on the roadside or if I have to hike a certain distance to a location. I did eventually find that the 2i got a little bit too big and got a little cumbersome, so that's why I wanted to, I guess, go for a smaller tracker. I did buy another brand of tracker originally just because of its, I guess, form factor, but I soon found out that I guess the quality of that tracker wasn't fantastic and wasn't really quite suited for us here in the Southern Hemisphere. I had issues with it not tracking accurately. It had it, I guess, not staying together properly, and eventually I wanted to get rid of it, and then I bit the bullet and went the Star Adventurer Mini. Because when I originally did my online I guess, research on small trackers, I did see the Star Adventurer Mini, but it came with a red flag of there was no, I guess, start-stop button on it for tracking. The only way you could turn the tracking on for this tracker was by its Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi enabled, so you had to connect your phone to it, and then within the app, that's where you can push run, and then it will start tracking. It does have an on and off button, so that's fine. But I thought, oh well, that's an extra couple of steps where like I'd rather just be able to go start stop and that's it, which this other tracker did have. But honestly, now that I own this tracker, the whole connecting it to your phone to turn it on and go is a non-issue, because like I did it the first time, it was like, yep, great, it's on, fantastic. But every time after that, your phone remembers the Wi-Fi, so when you're out in the middle of nowhere, your phone just automatically connects to it. You just open up the app, you push run, you turn the phone off and the app off, and it will just run now until you press stop on the off button. Fantastic. 3 kilo payload for a little tracker. I think that's the standard for trackers this size. But what I found is that this guy tracks extremely accurately. Like, I have been hanging my 5D DSLRs and Sigma lenses off it now for a couple of years, and it just handles it and does well and just goes. Like, I absolutely love this tracker. I'll show a picture of my setup and how I use it predominantly. AA batteries as well, so it only takes AA batteries, 2 of them, and that will last all night. Yes, you can plug in a power bank, but look, it's just extra cables and things that you have to hang off it. I'm personally wanting to streamline it, so AA's work for me. I have a ton of rechargeables that I have with me, so if I do forget to recharge this and it does run out, I can easily swap them out and I'm off and running. But yeah, you do have a snap cable. I personally don't use it. This is so you can control your camera with the phone app. I have an intervalometer, so I just use that. But honestly, good to go. 3 kilo, nice scape images. If that's all you're doing and you're just using wide-angle lenses, this is the tracker for you. It comes with the latitude base. I've adapted a Arca Swiss plate to the bottom of mine so I can mount it directly to my tripod, because my tripod is a sort of like a a latitude base in its own right. So I've really slimlined my setup. But yeah, this here, as you see, palm of my hand. It's like the size of an apple. Fits in your bag easy, no dramas. So yep, nightscape images, guys. Wide-angle lenses. I can't recommend this tracker enough. So the next tracker that I'm going to be talking about is the most popular one, I think, on the market, and that is the Star Adventurer 2i. As I mentioned earlier, I started off with the original Star Adventurer. Fantastic tracker, solid tracking, built tough. Honestly, you drop this, you'll pick it up, it'll keep working. Takes 4 AA batteries this time, so it does have the bigger motor, bigger gear, because this does have a capacity of 5 kilos. I would say it's similar to the Mini. It does have the ability to do some time-lapse functions like the Mini. The new updated 2i difference between the first version and this new 2i version was the inclusion of the Wi-Fi capability. So now you can connect your phone to it and use all the phone features like the Mini has been able to do for a little while. I guess the only other difference would be the color scheme. It's gone from it used to be like a red color and a black color, but now it's just gone to that Skywatcher white. You can also buy this in a few configurations, just like the Mini, like the photo pack. But the pack I would recommend the most, if you're like me when I first bought my tracker, that's the Pro Pack. So the Pro Pack comes with a declination bracket. So that would be photo kit would be this with a puck. Then you would go the Astro Pack, which is the declination bracket, and then you get a counterweight bar with it, and this is what helps balance the whole 5 kilo payload. So I've had a 150 to 600 lens, like a massive Tamron lens on the back of this with my 5D series camera, and that was pretty much maxing it out. And yeah, I was able to shoot like a Comet at 600mm, 30 seconds with a rough polar alignment, and yeah, tracked beautifully. So the 2i is just one of those trackers that I think that when you're wanting to spend money on a tracker and you want it to go a bit further, the Star Adventurer 2i is where you sort of want to go, because not only can you do your wide-angle astrophotography with this tracker, but you can branch out, get a bigger lens, maybe even a small refractor, which I've done with this before, and you can shoot those longer focal lengths as well. So it gives you a bit of a one of the other sort of options. So it's a bit more flexible. So with the Mini, because it's so small, you can't really do that. The 2i, bigger payload, you can do that. So you do get a bit more for your buck. So if that's more in line with where you're wanting to go, if you're wanting to dabble in a bit of both, I would recommend the 2i. Now, I guess the bad thing that I'll mention about the 2i, and it gets a lot of flack online with, is the dial here. It's an easy to turn dial, which sounds great, doesn't it? Easy to turn and change modes. But the problem is people leave their batteries in the back of the Star Adventurer, and then in your bag you might put it down like this and it'll move, and then it'll accidentally turn the switch on inside your bag. It can happen. It's happened to me originally, but And then the worst thing that can happen is that it's turning inside your bag, and those gears are going to crunch, 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 crunch. People complain about, oh, well, when I would turn up to my shoot, I got no battery power because it's run out. The gears crunching would be my worst fears. Then it's just churning those gears, and they're going to be slipping, and then you're buggered. You have to throw it out and get a new one. The easiest way to get around it, and I don't know why people don't just say this when they mention the issue of this dial being easy to turn on, is just to take out one battery. I literally just take out one single AA battery out of the back, and I chuck in my bag when I put this away, and then it has no chance of actually powering up and turning on. It's an easy fix. It's really not much of an issue. I still take out one battery out of my Mini out of force of habit. It's just the easiest way to make sure that when you're packing your tracker away, it's not going to accidentally power on whilst you've got it stored, and you're going to waste the batteries, but also worse is to chew up those gears and wreck your tracker. So easy way to get around that problem is just to take out a single battery and you're good to go. So Star Adventurer 2i, if you're someone who's wanting to dabble in a bit of longer length astrophotography versus your nightscapes, this is the one for you for sure. So the final tracker that I'm going to be talking about today is the big brother of the 2i, and that is the Star Adventurer GTI. Now, I was lucky enough to have a go at this when it first launched. Well, barely, unfortunately, because of a bit of rain and cloud, but this tracker is, look, it's not going to be for someone that wants to do nightscape photography. This is going to be for someone that's, I guess, moving further away from nightscapes and was wanting to use longer focal lengths. Majority, I'd say, probably more into those small refractor telescopes, and wanting to have the automation that comes along with that. This is still 5 kilo payload like the 2i, so you can still do a lot with the 2i. But the main reason you would go with the GTI is that it has the go-to capabilities. So once you start dabbling with longer focal lengths, you're soon going to find out that it's going to be harder to find objects in the sky. When you're shooting wide angle, it's easy to line up the Milky Way, that's no problem. But once you're trying to focus in on something a little bit smaller in the sky, especially when it's something that you can't see, it gets a bit annoying, especially when you're trying to do long exposures with a tracker and then trying to find it, and you're taking all these test exposures and you're just missing it all the time. It can get a bit frustrating. So that's where the Star Adventurer GTI comes in. You do your 3-star alignment. Once you've done all that process through the app, you can then tell it to go to a certain object in the sky, and it will slew straight to that object, and you know that you can take a test shot and you can find it right there in the sky, and you're off and running. That's at the basic. That's at a basic setup. You can use the app. For me and other people out there, you might want to use a computer. Like I use the ASI Air little computer box, and I can now control everything via my phone through the ASI Air app. And now I can automate the whole session. I can have my little telescope on here, the camera, and I can just tell it to take as many photos as it wants for how many hours, press go, and I can just leave it, and I can go off and take other photos with my wide angle lens and my little Star Adventurer Mini while this is taking those longer focal length shots for me all by itself. So the automation and the go-to that can come with the GTI is fantastic, and that's why I pretty much use the Mini for my nightscapes, and I use the GTI mainly. Me personally, I don't use the 2i, but if you are someone that's coming into tracking that does want to dabble in both, that's where the 2i comes in. So this is why there's the 3 options. I just feel that there's going to be an option for you, and you have to weigh up the reasons why you're buying a tracker and what best suits you. But someone who's leaning more towards those telescopes now and those longer focal lengths, the GTI is the tracker for you. If I'm going to say something not so great about this tracker, I'd say this back cap could have been redone better. The battery compartment is a bit odd. There is a thumb screw here that you got to take off to take the battery pack cover off to put the 8 batteries in, because this now has dual motors, so it has 8 batteries. This thumb screw can easily get lost. Nothing worse than dropping something tiny in the grass when you're out and about in the dark. But it does have the integrated latitude base, which is good. There's no 2 parts. It's just this one big chunky mount, which I just house in a case. But I think that there could be some updates to this in the future, so hopefully Skywatcher, this year maybe. I'm sure that there'll be some updates that'll refine this even better and better. And yeah, the Star Adventurer lineup is a pretty solid lineup, but I think with the technology and updates that are coming out at the moment, I reckon that there's exciting times and exciting things going to be coming out when it comes to the Star Adventurer series. But look, telescopes, GTI, this is the mount for you, absolutely. Okay, thanks guys for listening to me ramble on for a bit. It's been a while between videos, I know. I just wanted to give that information out there because as I keep saying, once you track, you don't go back. It's the best thing. It's the natural progression. If you've been shooting nightscapes for a while and you've been taking single shots, or then you found out about stacking your shots to get better noise and doing your blending that way, but then honestly, once you start to track and you can really dial back your settings and you can do those longer exposures, the amount of detail and color you can get out of your sky images is just, it's phenomenal. And editing those photos is extremely fun. It's just amazing to see what sort of detail you can bring out. So yeah, I would definitely highly recommend putting your toe in the waters when it comes to star tracking. I hope my sort of insights on all three varieties can help you out there on choosing the right tracker for you. But just to recap, I think the Mini, perfect for nightscape photographers if you're not interested in doing any sort of deep stuff. But if you are wanting to dabble in some deep stuff but still sort of stick to nightscapes, then I'd say the 2i is perfect for you. But if you're someone who's now leaning heavily more into those, I guess those longer focal lengths and getting into little telescopes, then yeah, look, the GTI is definitely going to be that mount for you as well. So yeah, happy shopping. I hope that helps. But before I go, I just wanted to mention it's now 2024. We're getting to the tail end of the Star Adventurer, the Skywatcher Astrophotographer of the Year. It started late last year, and it's still running. Still a bit of time to enter. I'll leave a link down below so you can check that out. But it's all the same categories. You got your nightscape category, you got your solar system category, you got your deep space. But instead of the time-lapse category that we had last year, we now have changed that out to Aurora. It is coming up to solar maximum. We're seeing some fantastic Aurora photos out there. If you are lucky enough to see Aurora, not me unfortunately in my area, but yeah, we've got that new category there, so please enter those photos. But we're also wanting to invite our international guests. The comp has always been a Australian-New Zealand comp, being Skywatcher Australia, but now we're going to invite our international guests. So there's an open category for you. That means that it doesn't matter what sort of astro photo you're wanting to enter. It can be a planet photo, or an aurora photo, or a nightscape, or moon. It all goes into the one basket from our international guests, and we'll try and pick the best international photo possible. So yeah, if you're watching this from overseas, please check out the link down below. It's free to enter. There's $15,000 worth of gear you can win. There are star trackers up for to win. There are small refractive telescopes to win. There's big refractive telescopes to win as well. There's heaps of prizes. So yeah, make sure, head down below, check out the link, and you've still got time to enter. I'll put some of the details up on when entries close, but yeah, please go check that out. But thanks for listening to me ramble. I hope to bring out a few more videos in terms of giving out information. I want to sort of focus on that sort of video content this year. I still will try and get out and do some more astro vlogs and take you with me out under the night sky, but weather's been horrendous for the last few months here in Australia, in my part of the world anyway. But yeah, if you do like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like more content like this, please hit subscribe. If you haven't already, any questions, as you know, leave them down below. I will get to those questions and I'll answer every single one that everyone asks. So yeah, look, thanks for watching. I'm going to shut up now. Clear skies, have a great one, and I'll see you in the next video.